Should you pay for a home inspection when buying new construction? The answer is absolutely yes. Let me justify it for you. First, when a builder is helping you, you're working with the sales associate who's paid by that builder. The builder trains them and coaches them to try to give you a very logical reason why you should not get your own home inspection. Though, I've got to tell you, 99 out of 100 of them don't mind if you do it. They just try to talk you out of it under the auspices of saving you $400 or $500. Well, that's not really true. That doesn't truly save you $400 or $500. What it does is it's kind of like not taking out insurance, because a home inspection is really the same thing as insurance, if you will. It's ensuring that the home was built correctly and everything works. Now let's go into it just a little bit, so stay with me here, it's important. Number one, the builder, when they build a home, they are going to tell you the following, or some variation of this. They're going to say, look, you've got a ton of eyes on this house to make sure it's correct. The builder examines it. They can't say inspects it because he's not a licensed inspector, but the builder, when he's constructing, it's going to look at everything for you. Number two, their subcontractors or their tradesmen are going to self-police, if you will. As they're doing your electrical or your framing or your countertops or your cabinetry, they're going to inspect their own work to make sure if it's a good quality. And I agree, they do. But you've got to remember, they're typically paid per job, not per hour. So they're going lickety-split. So maybe it's fair to say that they don't do that great a job on quality control. All right, next topic. They're going to tell you that the city and the county, they bring out inspectors that are going to come out multiple times and either give them a pass-fail, sometimes it's called a red or a green tag, and then identify what's deficient and make them fix it. And that is very true. Now, along with this, you've got to remember what those city or county folks are doing, predominantly it's city folks. Those city inspectors are looking for code compliance. They're not looking for things being done at a quality level. They're not looking for functionality. They're not looking for anything that they consider to be superficial. They're looking to see if your sewer pipe's got the right angle of inclination to drain at a certain rate. They're not checking to make sure a GFCI outlet works. You see the difference? And then lastly, and I love builders for doing this, don't get me wrong, but many builders will tout the fact that they pay for a private home inspector or corporation to come out and do a home inspection on it, so they've already bought you a home inspection. Well, hold on, Sparky, let's break that down. Let's talk about a company that maybe builds 1,000 houses a year. They reach out and they contract with an inspection company to do 1,000 inspections. They're doing a blended rate. They're getting a big discount on the pricing of that. And remember, that inspector is probably wanting to do volume, so he's got a lot of work to do. So I would submit to you, there's a big difference between you hiring your own inspector who works for no one but you, he's beholden to no one but you, and is licensed by the state of Texas as a licensee. If he screws up, he loses his license, therefore he loses his way to make a living. That person works for you directly. The builder's inspector, still a great guy, great gal, but they work for the builder, they're beholden to the builder, and the report goes to the builder. And they're doing them lickety-split. They're doing a lot of them. They're moving very quickly to get volume, to get quantity. That's how they make their profit in this situation. So I would tell you it's not as good of a home inspection as perhaps your home inspector that you hire that might spend 3 or 4 hours out there. Now, some of these folks doing these inspections for builders do a great job. Don't get me wrong. And if they're a licensed home inspector, they're required by the state of Texas to do a great job. And most builders don't do this, but some do, and they deserve credit for being a stand-up guy. Now, with all that being said, at the end of the day, you are typically allowed via the purchase contract to bring your own home inspector. They want you to warn them when the inspector's coming out. Perfectly reasonable to do that. There's nothing suspicious about that. And then lastly, they would really like to have the inspection done at either pre-drywall or pre-closing. And that's so that they can make sure the house is as finished as it can be. Because it's not fair to them to have a list of 500 items to repair when everybody knows they've still got 500 items to finish. Those aren't defects, those are just unfinished items. So don't worry about that if they request you make an appointment for your guy to come out. Perfectly reasonable. And I want to be careful here. I want to tell you something. If there was any builder that I would not worry about you not getting an inspection with, it would be the Highland family, Highland Homes. Those folks are stand-up folks, top to bottom. I build a lot of their homes, and I have yet to have them not be willing to correct a mistake. They just own it. And that's how everybody in the new construction world ought to behave. Now, I don't mean to be dismissive towards all the other amazing builders that are out there. Like Brent and Perry, they offer a 2-year warranty. Great builders. They do a wonderful job as well. There's a lot of builders that are really good. But quite frankly, there's some that really stink. And they're the ones that put up a hassle or throw a fit about you trying to bring your own home inspector. So guys, let me stress, if you're thinking about building a home in North Texas, especially in Collin County, hire us. We're the best at this business. We're the best at this game. We know what we're doing. And I'm gonna give you one quick example. We're gonna jump over to me being in a house to show you a simple example of what can cost you money without doing a home inspection. Okay guys, this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. When you get a new home inspection, one of the things they do is they plug in a little device into every electrical outlet. It tells them, number one, is there power? And number two, is the polarity correct or is it reversed? It can also show them quite simply if there's no power, if it's dead. So one of these guys, if you had a defective one, if it was not caught at the time of construction when you accepted the home and you had the builder fix it, then eventually you're gonna have it repaired. One of these guys, if you have a handyman do it, would cost you between maybe $100 to $150. If you have an electrician do it, or if it's a GFCI, you could run $200, $250. So remember, your average home inspection might be $400 to $500. All it would take is 2 items as simple as a couple of outlets not working to more than pay and justify having a home inspection done. Okay, so what you just saw was an electrical outlet. And a lot of times those can be deficient, wired backwards, what have you. And as I was saying in that clip, if you found 2 of those, it paid for the home inspection. And the reason I was going into the detail with the electrical outlet is a lot of times you may never plug anything into that outlet if it's upstairs in a game room on a far wall. It may sit there and never get used. But when you go to sell your home in 4 or 5 years, all of the deficiencies that could have been discovered with a simple home inspection will pop out, and you will be required to pay for all of those repairs when your buyer demands them as part of the negotiation period from their home inspection. Because you can rest assured they're darn well going to get a home inspection. So just remember, you paid for the house. A little bit more money is going to ensure as humanly possible that everything is working. And even if you come back with a perfectly clean inspection, which does happen a lot of times, it was worth the money to have the peace of mind knowing everything was done properly. All right, guys, I hope this tidbit helps. Stay safe out there, and may God keep and bless you and cause his face to shine upon you. Until I see you again at the construction site.